In today's episode, it's Mighty Bheem versus the Shadow King. Which one of these two will come out on top? Well, let's find out. But before we start, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome videos. Our story begins in the kingdom of Bheem, with Bheem and his friends having a wonderful time at the lake. Suddenly, the ground beneath them begins to tremble and a deep voice echoes across the land. "Submit, foolish mortals, and I shall grant you a quick death." The children look up to see a dark cloud hovering above them, and out steps the Shadow King, who is radiating darkness all around him. He was a huge bulky man wearing dark armor and a crown. The Shadow King was one of the most feared villains in the whole world. His mere presence was enough to turn a person into stone. The children are scared, but not for long, because here comes Bheem, looking strong and confident as ever. Bheem asks the Shadow King if he is done with making mischief or if Bheem has to teach him a lesson again. The Shadow King replies that this time Bheem won't be able to defeat him so easily, because he is here to drain the life out of everyone in the kingdom and plunge the whole place into eternal darkness. With that said, he unleashes a wave of dark energy towards the people. Bheem jumps in just in the nick of time and stops the attack with his bare hands. He tells the villagers to run and hide. Then he turns back to face the Shadow King and asks him to get ready for some real action. As the battle begins, Bheem and the Shadow King exchange blows. The Shadow King is indeed powerful, and he overpowers Bheem with his dark magic. Despite being a good fighter himself, Bheem finds it difficult to match the Shadow King's strengths and skills. The Shadow King continues to attack and taunts Bheem, saying that he can't do anything to stop him. However, Bheem manages to dodge an incoming punch and says that the Shadow King is wrong. He might be strong, but that doesn't mean he can't be defeated. Bheem gets into position and fires a powerful blast of energy at the Shadow King. The blast hits its target and sends the Shadow King flying through the air. The Shadow King quickly recovers from the attack and laughs it off as if it meant nothing to him. He says that Bheem's attacks are weak and ineffective against him and that he is going to destroy him. Before Bheem can respond, the Shadow King launches another attack. This time he uses his dark magic to create a shield around himself. The shield is impenetrable and Bheem's attacks are unable to penetrate it. The Shadow King gloats about his victory, but Bheem refuses to give up. He knows that he needs to come up with a new strategy if he wants to defeat the Shadow King. So he takes a moment to think things through. Meanwhile, the Shadow King grows impatient and tells Bheem to hurry up. He says that he doesn't have all day and that he is going to kill him soon. But Bheem is not listening. He is too focused on coming up with a plan to defeat the Shadow King. After what seems like hours of thinking, Bheem finally comes up with a strategy. He feigns a retreat, hoping to lure the Shadow King into a trap. The plan is risky, but Bheem has no other choice. He backs away slowly, keeping an eye on the Shadow King. As the Shadow King closes in on him, Bheem suddenly turns around and charges at him. The Shadow King is taken by surprise and he tries to defend himself, but it's too late. Bheem's attack is too powerful and he knocks the Shadow King to the ground. Bheem stands over the Shadow King and prepares to deliver the final blow. But before he can do so, the Shadow King uses his dark magic to teleport away. The Shadow King reappears a safe distance away from Bheem and he is furious. He had never been defeated before and he is determined to make Bheem pay for humiliating him. The Shadow King gathers his strength and launches a powerful attack. This time, however, Bheem is prepared. He dodges the attack and counters with a blast of his own. The two blasts collide and cause a massive explosion. When the smoke clears, it is clear that neither Bheem nor the Shadow King has emerged victorious. Both are badly hurt and exhausted. They exchange blows until both of them collapse to their knees. Bheem tells the Shadow King that he has fought well, but that it is time for him to go. The Shadow King, however, refuses to give up. He may be tired, but he is still dangerous, and he launches a final attack. Bheem, however, is ready for him and he blocks the attack. With the Shadow King's last hope of defeating Bheem extinguished, he teleports away, vowing to return. But Bheem is not worried. He knows that he is a protector of the kingdom and he will always be there to defend it. As the battle comes to an end, the villagers emerge from their hiding places to see how their champion is faring. When they see that Bheem has defeated the Shadow King, they erupt in cheers. They thank Bheem for saving their lives and for protecting their kingdom. Bheem, however, is humble. He knows that he did what he had to do and he doesn't want any praise or glory for it. The next day, the kingdom is celebrating their victory over the Shadow King. The villagers are throwing a huge feast in Bheem's honor and everyone is invited. Bheem, however, is not interested in the party. He would rather stay home and rest. But his friends convince him to go. They tell him that he deserves to celebrate his victory and that they want to be a part of it. Bheem eventually agrees and he goes to the party with his friends. At the party, Bheem is treated like a hero. Everyone is praising him and thanking him for his bravery. Bheem is uncomfortable with all the attention, but he tries to enjoy the party. He dances and sings with his friends and he eats delicious food. It is a much-needed break from the usual routine and Bheem finds himself relaxing into the festivities. As the night goes on, Bheem and his friends reminisce about their adventures. They tell stories about their battles and their triumphs and they laugh and joke around. Bheem feels grateful for his friends. He knows that he couldn't have done what he did without their help and support. They are more than just friends. They are a family. As the party winds down, Bheem and his friends say their goodbyes. They are exhausted from the battle and from the celebrations, but they are happy. They have won a great victory and they have made their kingdom a safer place. As Bheem walks home, he can't help but feel proud. He knows that he is a protector of the kingdom and he takes his job seriously. He will always be there to defend the weak and innocent, no matter what the cost. And that's all for today's episode. How did you like this adventure of Mighty Bheem? Do you think Bheem could have defeated the Shadow King without his friends? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more such amazing episodes. We'll see you next time.